Tonight, grisly find. Detectives search for clues after a dog walker stumbles upon a man's body in Bayside, Melbourne. Legal gamble. The disgruntled footy fan taking on the TAB over a betting brouhaha.
There's some loophole and they're using it to their advantage. It's just not fair.
Lest we forget, 96 years on, a nation pauses to remember the sacrifice of a generation.
They sacrificed their lives for all of us, just to make the world a better place.
And getting shirty at APEC, but the PM backs away from his promised confrontation with Putin.
This is 10 Eyewitness News with Stephen Quartermain.
Good evening. Police have spent the day scouring Beaumaris Beach for clues after a man's body was found in bushes this morning. A walker made the grisly find. Police have revealed branches had been placed over the body in a bid to conceal it. Matt Gallant has the story.
A beach in lockdown and a homicide investigation underway.
It is a concern. I mean, a male person found deceased, concealed in bushes.
Over the next few months.
The fan favourite had been scrapped for the past decade after injury claims and to preserve the ground. Great to see. Now here's Brad looking ahead to sport.
Thank you, Stephen. All eyes will be on Michael Clarke's form and leadership in the upcoming one-day series against South Africa. A painful end to a stunning knock in the UAE. Jack Miller gets straight back on his bike, albeit a new one. And they'll turn their backs on the photographers, but not on their country. Nat Fyfe and Nick Natanui warm up for the one-off international rules test against Ireland.
Thanks, Brad. Coming up after the break. Waiting game. James Hird's fate rests in the hands of the federal court. And the Premier meets some young friends as he makes an election promise to parents. This is 10 Eyewitness News. James Hird now faces a tense wait for the federal court judges to hand down their ruling over his appeal against Asada. The Essendon coach is fighting solo after the club decided not to appeal. Hird's case is based on claims the investigation by Asada into the football club supplement scandal was unlawful.
Look, we're very happy to have had a chance to put our case forward, and we now look forward to the decision and go from there.
The panel of 3 judges may not hand down their decision until early next year. A husband and wife have been rescued by firefighters after flames engulfed their Ballarat restaurant. The couple, aged in their 50s, were on the 2nd storey of the building when the fire broke out just after 10 last night. A passerby jumped out of his car to try and help the woman escape.
I told her to jump down because there were visible flames and she was up on the top veranda. And so I told her to jump down, but she jumped onto the roof of the next building across and sort of got away from it.
The fire caused an estimated $100,000 damage. Australian researchers are claiming a monster cancer breakthrough. So-called Frankenstein cells are a genetic mashup of cancer-causing genes. And scientists now know how and why they grow. Melinda Nusifora explains.
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
And much like the monster itself, Frankenstein cancer chromosomes can be a killer.
This massive extra chromosome is made up of the body parts of normal chromosomes stitched together in a new way.
And right near Peninsula Link. Take care through the area. More after sport.
Ahead in 10 Eyewitness News. Shocking pictures are released of a huge US bushfire that killed a team of firefighters. And residents flee in Florida as one driver gets that sinking feeling. Welcome back. Victims' families have been left shocked at the release of new video showing one of America's worst bushfire disasters. It shows the moments leading up to the deaths of 19 elite firefighters from Arizona's Hot Shots team. Letitia Willocks reports.
In America, they call elite bush firefighters hot shots, and this helmet cam shows what they were up against.
The campaigner says Australia has one of the lowest adoption rates in the world. Now here's Mike with a word on today's beautiful weather.
Yes, thank you, Stephen. Good evening. Well, a cloudy morning gave way to a lovely sunny day on this 11th day of the 11th month, but that southwesterly wind did us no favours, the mid to high teens much of the afternoon. And as you probably have guessed, tonight I'm outside of the Shrine of Remembrance, dedicated 80 years ago not only to commemorate those who served in the First World War, it also honoured the courage of the men, women and children who remained at home. Remembrance Day, the anniversary of the signing of peace that ended World War I in 1918. That was to be the last World War. And it's always encouraging to see so many people wearing poppies. Well, 26 degrees and sunny tomorrow sounds A-OK. 34 for a very warm Thursday. Come Friday, 5 to 10 millimetres of rain, and then a soggy and very average weekend. More from the Shrine in half an hour. Stephen?
Thanks, Mike. Next, police hunt 2 suspects over a fatal stabbing. And a remarkable reunion thanks to the determination of one police officer. You're watching 10 Eyewitness News. The Premier has played king of the kids, outselling his kinder bonus, but not all parents were buying the largesse. Meanwhile, it emerged Labor's pledge to rip up the East-West Link contracts would cost taxpayers millions. David Woywood reports.
Pushing his $100 kinder cashback promise, the Premier spent some FaceTime with residents in the marginal seat of Bentley.
This day of all days.
There we go, Mick. Oh, that's wonderful.
Mark O'Brien, 10 Eyewitness News.
Now here's Brad with Tuesday Sport.
Thank you, Stephen. Nick Nat and Nat 5 prepare to play for their country. Will cross to the Bentley Greens home ground ahead of the biggest game in their history. There's plenty of cricket tonight. Australia and South Africa gear up for the one-day series. A brutal bouncer floors an informed batsman. And we know catchers win matches. Well, they can also win you a lot of money. Good evening. The 2020 series decided. Australia and South Africa have turned their attention to the one-day competition starting on Friday at the Wacker. Both camps expect the 5-game series to be hotly contested. And as Lockie Reid reports, there's sure to be plenty of attention on the form and leadership of Australian skipper Michael Clarke.
The summer of cricket officially underway, and it's music to the ears of the most ardent fans.
Gets even better too, adding to his cash bonanza and superstardom. He also gets our play of the day. Well done, young fella. Now, I'm not a liar. I did tell you that we'll be crossing to dunk at Bentley Greens. We're having a few technical issues, so we are unable to cross out to dunk. However, we wish them well.
What a night it'll be.
It's going to be I think they're expecting 5,000.
And lots of souvlaki's.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Yeah, well, let's hope they knock them off.
Go the Greens.
That's it. Thank you, Bradley. Let's go back to Andrew in the chopper for another check of our traffic.
Thanks, David. In the Lawn Solutions Australia traffic, chopper for the most part out there tonight. Not a bad run. No big surprises on the freeways that we've seen. Plenty of pranks, though, including this one in Doncaster. It's at the corner of George Street and Church Road. Now, the final stage of the clean-up's underway. 5 cars involved from what I could see, but tow trucks have been loading up and they're clearing the scene pretty quickly. Elsewhere, got a collision in Glen Waverley. That's on Springvale Road, right outside the Glen in the northbound lanes of Springvale Road. Also in Collingwood on Gibb Street, just off Hoddle Street. Hope you have a safe and wonderful night.
Thank you, Andrew. Mike's back after the break with the weather details and getting the band back together. Bob Geldof recruits for another charity single. Welcome back. 30 years on, Bob Geldof is getting the band back together, all in the name of charity. Band Aid raised millions to help Ethiopia. This time, the Stars are teaming up to fight Ebola. Angela Bishop reports.
They're getting the Band Aid back together. 30 years ago, Midge Ewer and Bob Geldof talked.
What you have to do is buy this thing.
Angela Bishop, 10 Eyewitness News.
Well, it's a perfect setting at the Shrine for this Remembrance Day. Here's Mike with the weather.
Yeah, that's right, Stephen. A very good evening. Over my shoulder is the Eternal Flame, also known as the Perpetual Flame, first lit by the Queen back in February 1954. And yes, it's a glorious evening. There's no question about that. OK, let's have a look at some photos that have been sent to Mike's Pics at network10.com.au. And first up from Mark Jagger, looks like Mick Jagger, the sun setting over St Kilda, and lovely orange skies over Wonthaggi are working. And this captured at dusk by David Tessari. Well, 13 degrees was the overnight low. South southwesterly winds kept it a tad on the cool side, although sunny for the most part, no better than 19.2 at around 3:30 this afternoon. Outside right now, 17 degrees, feels like 12, the humidity at 42%, and the wind now south-southwesterly blowing at some 25 kilometres per hour. Around town today, and this is why perhaps you're wearing a bit of a knit or a sweater, the wrong side of 20 today are maximums. Yep, we were ripped off. Across our state, no rain today and generally sunny this afternoon. And the Bureau says, well, it may be dry, but both do agree on a rather cool 19 degrees. And then Sunday, Monday and Tuesday, all around 20 degrees. So that is the forecast, cooling down once the sun sets tonight. But then, yes, there is. We've always said it'll be a magnificent Wednesday, and I'll see you then. Stephen.
Thank you, Mike. And that is 10 Eyewitness News for Tuesday. Family Feud is next on 10, followed by The Project. On behalf of the team, take care. Good night.